If you want to start making real money in Africa today, not just money that you will spend and forget, money that will transform your life, money that you can pass to your children's children, the opportunities are vast, but there is one thing you must understand. The real money on our continent is not in flashy businesses. It's not in the next big tech startup. It's not in crypto trading. It's not in anything sexy. The real money, I'm talking about the predictable money now, sits inside the boring businesses that everyone else ignores. Businesses that don't trend. Businesses nobody wants to post on Instagram. These businesses pay every single day, whether the economy is smiling or crying. My name is Tim. I am the leader of the Wealth Team. On this channel, we're on a mission to raise thousands of African millionaires before the next 1 year. Subscribe and have the opportunity of being one of those thousands and help us on this journey. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 boring businesses that may be unsexy but are extremely profitable. Businesses that are set to explode even more in 2026. If you are serious about building generational wealth, you are in the right place. Now let's begin. I'm counting down from number 10 straight into the real cash flow engines. The 10th is agro-processing, which is converting cassava to gari or starch. You want to be a manufacturer? Start with the business that can never fail, which is the business of gari. This is pure value addition. You are solving the problem of perishability. You take bulky, cheap raw cassava and convert it into a light, shelf-stable, high-demand staple. The profit is locked in during the process. The demand is constant, making this business recession-proof. And what do you need for this? You do not need to buy a farm. You need to focus on efficiency and hygiene. Secure raw supply and utilize community processing hubs for the heavy, expensive grazing and processing. Your capital should be invested in these profitable steps. That's controlled fermentation, frying, and professional packaging. For you to succeed in this business, you must have strict process control to ensure consistent quality and taste. For you to get into this business, you'll be looking at anywhere between $1,000 to $4,500. And by consistently processing 3 to 4 tons of cassava every single month and maintaining high quality, you can reliably generate anywhere between $500 to $1,500 in profit. Understand this. The secret of this business is that you are selling time and stability, not just food. Now let's move on to another that every home uses every single day, but you are going to sell it with premium. That's bottled and sachet palm oil production. Palm oil is the red gold. I've talked about it in one of my videos and I've provided different models that you can get in. But today we are looking at it from one particular angle, which may be the best way you can make money from palm oil. The market is shifting. Middle-class consumers are willing to pay a premium for packaged oil that is cleanly sourced, properly sealed, and branded. You are selling trust and convenience, moving out of the volatile commodity market. Repackaging high-quality edible oil can achieve an average profit margin of 30% on the unit price because of the added value of brand and hygiene. What does it take to start? You are a packager and distributor, not a miller. All you need is to buy certified high-quality edible oil in bulk from large mills and then invest in the finishing process. All that you need is a reliable basic electric heat sealer and small filling equipment. To cover packaging materials, a basic sealing machine, and the critical regulatory registration and compliance, you will need between $1,000 to $4,000 to get into this business. Now, by consistently supplying 50 local market vendors with your premium branded product, you can establish a monthly profit of over $800. Alright, that's 2 food businesses. If you can master 2 staples, you are immune to any economy. Now let's talk about the core of livestock explosion. I'm talking about the 8th business, which is animal feed production. As long as people eat meat, farmers will keep buying feed. But you are not selling feed, my brother. You are selling results. The African livestock sector is huge, but farmers struggle with generic, unreliable feed. You bypass this by selling customized, high-performance formulas that guarantee faster weight gain and higher egg production. The farmer doesn't negotiate price because feed, makes him more money. Let me tell you the logic of this particular business. Feed makes up over 60% of the farmer's operational cost. If your product is better, they will pay a premium for it because they know it will only yield them more money. What does it take to start? Your equipment, raw materials, and your skills, which is the basic knowledge of animal nutrition to formulate products for specific growth stages, which you can learn in 3 to 6 months. With $2,000 to $2,500, you can conveniently get into this business and grow gradually with time. If you want to grow fast, you need to focus on specialized customized feed for small to medium commercial farms. With this, you can achieve higher margins than generic sales, generating a monthly profit of between $1,000 to $2,500. Now from this, let me ask you a question. Do you know of a tiny animal that moves slow and yet can generate fast cash flow? This is one of the lowest risk agro business you can start, and the demand is still almost completely unmet. It is our 7th business, which is commercial snail farming. Slow animal, fast money. This is the quiet gold of African agriculture, yet people still take it for granted. Trust me, be serious with this, and your life will change forever because the supply from the wild is declining rapidly due to habitat loss, which is creating a massive vacuum for farmed snails. African giant snails are a delicacy that sell for a high price. That's if you are looking at the B2B models to hotels, restaurants, and exporters. The annual demand for edible snails in Nigeria alone is estimated at 7.5 million kilograms every year, yet the supply is nowhere near this. What does it take to start? Nothing serious. Snail farming requires controlled environment and management, not acres of land. You can start with a small secure area, even at your backyard you can do this. And then later you can construct climate-controlled pens, known as hutch boxes or snaileries. The next thing you need is the patience and mastery of the delicate microclimate, that's temperature and humidity. This will help you to avoid any colony loss. You can start with as little as $250. Once your colony is self-sustaining and you build to a particular point, you can be making anywhere from $600 to $1,000 monthly in profit. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Have you noticed any pattern so far? None of these businesses require any massive risky loans. They only require discipline and a good system. Now let's talk about a business that profits from the biggest spending institutions, hospitals and hotels. It takes us to the 6th boring idea that will explode in 2026. That's commercial laundry and dry cleaning depot. Hotels, hospitals and restaurants wash linen every single day. They cannot stop because their business depends on it. Why am I selling the business to you? Because hospitals and hotels must outsource their massive laundry volume. It's too expensive and complex for them to manage internally. They need a reliable high-volume partner. You secure high-volume contracts that provide predictable monthly income, guaranteeing you a cash flow regardless of walk-in traffic. For you to succeed in this business using the formula I'm giving, you must focus on a secure depot for contract work. You will need to have at least 2 heavy-duty commercial-grade washing machines and professional pressing equipment. You will need space and you will need extreme quality control and guaranteed non-negotiable 24-hour turnaround time. Putting everything together, you will need at least $3,000 to $6,000 to get into this. Trust me, it will pay for itself in a very short time. Because if you're able to secure just 3 medium-sized hotel or hospital contracts and you establish a stable income stream, you'll be able to reliably generate a monthly profit of $2,000 to $3,000. That's after covering operational costs. That's predictable income. Now think about every single human gathering in Africa, weddings, festivals, rallies. They all need one thing, and that's what number 5 is all about. This is pure low-maintenance asset income. Plastic chairs and table rentals for events. Weekend in Africa equals events. Events equals chairs. And what does it tell you? The people who have the chairs have the money. It's as simple as that. Why do I think this is the place to go in 2026? Because social gatherings are non-negotiables. And with these, you invest once in quality assets, that's your tables and your chairs, and it continues to generate income every weekend until it pays for itself many times over. If you run this business well, you'll be able to fully pay back your inventory within the first 12 months. And what do you need to get into this? You need durable, high-quality resin chairs and foldable tables. Then you need space, a dry, secure, and easily accessible storage unit. That's all you need. I know of someone who started this with an inventory of 200 quality chairs and 10 tables. Believe me, before 4 months, he has doubled his number of tables and chairs. You can start in that manner with $2,000 to $5,000. The more chairs and tables you're able to get, the better. And if you can get other things like canopy, that will be massive business for you. Now we're in the top 4, where the cash flow begins to pour like water. If you've been ignoring the boring businesses, I hope you are getting the message now. The lack of glamour equals the lack of competition. Now let's talk about a business that profits from every single piece of construction in Africa. That's our number 4, gravel and sharp sand supply to construction sites. When you look, what you see is sand. But when builders look at the same thing, what they see is huge money. Now that's the huge logistic problem you are about to solve for a fat fee. Africa's construction sector is booming. Builders need constant, reliable, and verified supplies of aggregate. They don't want to manage the logistics headache of dealing with queries. Now that's the problem you solve. Now let's solve your own problem, which is how to get a tipper, because it can cost anywhere from $20,000 upward. Here's what you should do. Sign a reliable agreement with quarry owners for supply and independent truck owners for transport, and then coordinate the entire transaction. You must be good with 2 things: ruthless negotiations and accurate logistics scheduling. The good thing with this business is you may not need so much to get into it. With $1,000 to $2,500, you can get started. You will need that money for down payments. By optimizing the supply chain, you can extract anything from 10 to 15% margin on the full cost of the load. Handling 30 to 40% large truckloads per month can comfortably generate a monthly profit of $1,000 to $3,000. Isn't that massive? That's how you make money from dirt, even without getting your hands too dirty. Now let's go to the next, which on the surface looks complicated, but when you dig down is very easy, which is our number 3, corporate uniform and reflective jacket production. Trust me, this is a massive industry. It's not fashion, it's industrial uniform production, and companies buy in bulk because they have no choice. The corporate uniform market in Africa is massive, and in 2026, it will grow bigger because of regulatory concerns. Every security firm, factory, school, and construction site must have branded compliant wear. This is a mandated recurring expense. The global workwear market, which drives this business, is growing at over 5.6% annually. And how do you make money in this market? There is a constant replacement orders. That's where you come in as a product manager and broker, and not a production house, at least for the start. So how do you go about it? You secure the contract and outsource to actual production. They cut, they sew, and then they embroider. You manage the quality, the delivery, and the invoicing. Getting your foot fully in this means you must have these skills: contract negotiation skills, quality assurance skills, and managing subcontractors. For you to start, you'll need between $1,000 to $3,000, which will cover samples, marketing materials, and working capital for the first bulk deposit to your subcontractor. Now 2 left. These 2 are the most resilient low capital ideas left on the continent. Get ready for the gold mine. Number 2 is exercise book printing for schools. Over 260 million African students need exercise books every single year, and in 2026 there won't be any difference. Here's how you profit from this market, where the demand is annual and massive. Don't look to compete with bulk printers. Just specialize in customization for private institutions and universities. They pay a premium for specific binding, logos, and inner pages format that big publishers ignore. All you need to start is to get the client list and the final touches right. Here is the model that will help you milk out as much profit as possible. Once you get a contract, subcontract the mass printing of the ruled pages. With that, you will own the high margin finishing, that's cutting, binding, and attaching the custom covers. But before this, you will need to invest in a high quality paper cutter and reliable saddle stitch binding machine. You can get into this business with as low as $1,000 to $3,000. And now for the number one, the most boring business in Africa that will create millions by 2026 is waste collection and sorting. You may be seeing trash, but other people are seeing fresh billion-dollar cash. This is the king of boring businesses. Every single growing city generates more waste than it can handle. You are not a garbage man, you are a resource aggregator. You acquire plastic, aluminium, and papers at near zero cost and sell it as a high-value commodity to industrial manufacturers. The plastic recycling market alone in some African countries is estimated to be worth billions of dollars. You can start small, hyperlocal, and focus on sorting. Here is a model to follow. Secure micro contracts with households on a specific route. You collect, meticulously sort, and sell clean bill materials. All you need is a heavy-duty tricycle, durable bins, and a secure dry sorting shed. With $800 to $3,000, you can get into this business. Trust me, worth him. If you consistently manage your route and move 3 to 5 tons of sorted high-quality materials per month, you can reliably generate a monthly profit of between $1,000 to $2,500. There you have it, 10 solid boring businesses, no hype, just high cash flow. You have seen the blueprint. Now you need to choose your system. I want you to go into the comments right now and tell me, which number are you starting with? Is it 1 waste, 5 chair rentals, or 10 Gary? Just drop the number or name. The business that gets the most votes in the comment section before the end of next month, I'll break it down into a full step-by-step guide, A to Z. If you are serious about building wealth in Africa, you already know what to do. Smash that like button to help us grow. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notification bells so you don't miss the next guide. I'll see you in the comments.